Hey, it is Troy Stavros with Doorbell Real Estate, and it is January of 2023. So we are going to take a look at the numbers through December of 2022 to see what is happening in the local East Tennessee Knoxville real estate market so we can keep our finger on the pulse of the real estate market locally. Remember, real estate is local. What you hear on the national news may not and probably does not apply to you here in East Tennessee. Let's start and take a look at the numbers. All right, East Tennessee market update comparing December 2022 to December of 2021. Let's see how things are looking. Home sales are down 29.7% compared to a year ago. Pending sales are down 17.6% compared to a year ago. Inventory of homes is up 58.4%. So quite a bit more inventory on the market now compared to 1 year ago. New listings are down 25.1%. So inventory is up, home sales are down. We're going to talk about why that is shortly. The median sales price is up 9.82% compared to a year ago and is coming in at $318,465. That is up about $5,000 compared to last month. And the absorption rate is down compared to last month. It's coming in at 2 months, 2.03 months versus 2.24. So that tells us there is less inventory on the market in December as compared to January, which we typically happens because of the holidays, but we'll also see there's other reasons for that as well. Let's take a look at some of the graphs. So we're starting 2023 with less inventory than we expected. Inventory climbed a lot in the second and third quarter of 2022, then tapered off when rates fell. People were buying some homes in August, then at the beginning of September, that's when the rates spiked. People then started to hold off, and that's when inventory and price reductions started increasing. Then in December, inventory started ticking back down again. We currently have 3,798 single-family homes on the market right now in East Tennessee, compared to last year in December when we only had 2,386 homes. So as we saw in the graph earlier, that's about 58% more inventory right now than there was a year ago. But when we compare that to 2019 December and pre-pandemic January in 2020, we were at about 5,000 to 5,300 homes on the market. So you can see we are still considerably less as far as inventory goes right now than we were pre-pandemic. But the good news is, compared to last year, that buyers have more selection than they've had really in the last 2 years, which is good. So if you're a buyer who's sitting on the sidelines and you're waiting for some giant flood of inventory, there isn't any sign of that happening. So it would be my recommendation to find a home on the market that you like and can afford now. The data does not say wait because there's more homes coming. It just doesn't say that. Also, when we look at these graphs here, the sold to list ratio was coming down considerably and has also leveled off now that we are seeing inventory kind of stop the serious decline and start to tick up a little bit more. But there is negotiation happening, as you can see from here. When we were in April, we were at 102%, so everything was over list price, but it has ticked down each month all the way until November and then leveled off in December at about 90, just under 98%, 95 to 98%. So there is more negotiation happening now for sure. Okay, let's take a look at the Knoxville, Tennessee market. Home sales are down 27.1%. Pending sales are down 25.1%. This is compared to last year. Inventory of homes is up 44.2%. New listings are down 30.7%. The median sales price is up 4.18% compared to a year ago. So that's a more moderate number. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing things moderate. We aren't seeing a big crash, which everybody is worried about. We're just seeing numbers moderate, and there's a reason for that is what we've seen happen with the economy and what interest rates have done, and we'll talk about that some more shortly. The absorption rate is down to 1.16 versus 1.33 last month. That is just a tick over 1 month's worth of inventory in Knoxville, which is significantly low. A healthy market is 6 months. We only have about 1 month worth of inventory. So that is going to stop prices from falling because supply and demand tells us if there's little supply and there's more demand, prices are going to increase. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Okay, let's take a look at the Knoxville numbers. Let's just open up Knoxville here. See what the data says, or the graphs show us for Knoxville. Okay, you can see the crazy ride we've had as far as listing inventory. The red number is active listings, so they've just been going up through July, then slow incline, and then boom, just started falling in October, November, December, heading in the wrong direction. So that shows you the same as far that line follows absorption rate because that's the month's worth of inventory. List to sale ratio, you can see again in April, May, we were well above 100%, then started working our way down. And then we kind of, in November, we're at about 98.5%, and then it started moving back up. So there is some negotiation happening in Knoxville, but with only 1 month's worth of inventory, there are not that many homes available. So you still might run into some competition out there, especially for some of the better homes. All right, let's take a look at the county by county update. In Roane County, available inventory is up 14.4% compared to a year ago. Pending sales are up 9.1%. The median sales price, however, is down 10.64% compared to a year ago and is coming in at $250,000. We will see as we go through these other counties. This month, Roane County in December was the anomaly as the only county where the median sales price fell compared to a year ago. Down 10.64% compared to December of 2021. Knox County came in at 53% inventory was up. So there's 53% more inventory in Knox County in December of 2022 than there was 1 year prior. Pending sales were down 18.3%. The median sales price in Knox County was up 6.45% compared to a year ago and came in at $329,900. In Anderson County, available inventory was up 13.3%. Pending sales were down 26.8%. And the median sales price was up 8.48% and came in at $281,500. Loudon County, available inventory up an incredible 123.6% compared to a year ago. Pending sales were down 37.8%. The median sales price, however, up 20%. And is coming in at $433,500. And a lot of that can be attributed to Tellico Village, which falls in Loudon County, where we are seeing a lot of new construction happening at higher price points. So those Loudon County numbers may be skewed a little bit because of Tellico Village. So if you're looking specifically in other parts of Loudon County and you have questions about what's happening, definitely reach out and we can pinpoint some numbers for you, nail it down even more hyper-local than county level. Sevier County, available inventory is up 111.7%. Pending sales are down 18.1%. And the median sales price in Sevier County is up 15.23% compared to a year ago and coming in at $551,950. In Blount County, available inventory is up 64.2%. Pending sales are down 19.7%. And the median sales price is up 3.34% and coming in at $340,000. Okay, so those are the numbers of East Tennessee, Knoxville, and the counties surrounding Knoxville. You can see that inventory is up pretty much across the board compared to 1 year ago today, and giving buyers more available, more options, and the ability actually, because inventory is up, it actually is giving buyers the opportunity to go in, negotiate, and get their contingencies in, things like home inspections, appraisals, and the things that they could not do 6 months ago when the market was so crazy that you were competing and you had to remove those things to even have a chance at getting a home. But that's the good news. More inventory leads to more options and more contingencies and more negotiation for buyers in this market. Let's take a look at what the recent National Association of Realtors 2022 profile of home buyers and sellers told us. There were some interesting things that came out in this profile report. First being that first-time buyers dropped to an all-time low of 26% from 34% just a year ago. So when they compare year over year, first-time home buyers dropped to 26% of the buyers compared to 34% a year ago. And that can be attributed to what has happened with interest rates. And we're going to talk about interest rates here shortly. But affordability has really been something that has been hampering lots of buyers, and especially first-time home buyers, from getting in to the market and getting a home secured. Small towns and rural areas saw a migration flow while there was a retraction of buying in urban areas and the suburbs. So definitely seeing more people move to more rural areas, just a little bit more out of town. Maybe they're looking for a little bit more land, a little bit more elbow room. And we're seeing a lot of people, especially coming into East Tennessee from other parts of the country. And that is definitely a criteria that is on a lot of their list, is they want something that has 1 acre, 5 acres, 10 acres. And they're coming in from other parts of the country where they don't have the ability to have that. So that is definitely something that we are seeing they're coming in and looking for. How far a buyer moved jumped to an all-time high of 50 miles from a range that had been steady between 10 to 15 miles. So people are expanding their searches out a little bit more, and that can be attributed to the fact that because there's so little inventory, like we saw, only 1 month worth of inventory in Knoxville, people are starting to have to look elsewhere. They're having to open up that big circle that they're looking to expand their search out to areas other than where they may have wanted to specifically be in the first place. So if they wanted to be in Knoxville and they can't find something in Knoxville, they're expanding that search out a little bit further to find a home. The share of all cash repeat buyers jumped 17% to 27% in the last year. So definitely seeing more all cash repeat buyers. Tenure in a home, or the amount of time that people are staying in their home before selling, returned to an all-time high of 10 years. So people are staying in their homes longer. This right here doesn't help inventory. We already have low inventory, so people are staying in their homes longer, so that means less inventory is going to come on the market. And then followed by the next one, which was expected tenure for first-time buyers hits an all-time high of 18 years, up from 7 years in 2007. So that means first-time buyers are expecting to stay in their house longer, which again means not helpful for a low inventory situation. And then finally, first-time buyers moving directly from a family member's home into home ownership is at an all-time high. So we're definitely seeing more folks staying with family until they can find a home to buy than previously. Okay, let's kind of take a look and see what is happening in the Knoxville market. So the Knoxville, Tennessee metro area ranked number 13 among the top 100 U.S. metros for house price growth. House price growth in quarter number 3 of 2022, according to FHFA House Price Index. So number 13 ranked Knoxville, Tennessee area for home price growth. So we are definitely seeing the prices increase here. And when you compare it to the top 100 homes or top 100 U.S. metros, we ranked number 13. The Knoxville Area Association of Realtors released its 2023 forecast report this past month. So let's take a look at some of the things that they said in that report. First was half of the homes sold that were sold under contract in 13 days or less. So we are still seeing homes go under contract quickly in the Knoxville market. Next, 23% of the homes that were sold for over asking price. So still 23% of homes, almost a quarter, are selling for over asking price still in this market, with over 10% selling for at least $10,000 over asking price. So that is still happening in this market for competitive homes. So if you get into a situation like that, know that there might still be competition, but if you can get into a negotiation where you are the only person that is negotiating on that house, the recommendation is get it done quickly, get it under contract. Housing market activity plummeted in the fourth quarter as the collision of higher mortgage rates and the return of seasonal trends pushed home sales to their lowest levels since 2016. While the rapid decline in market activity may feel like a housing crash to anyone who entered or exited the market recently, the housing market is merely normalizing, not crashing. It's also important to remember that home sales were uncharacteristically high last December, so the dramatic year-over-year figures that we're seeing aren't as worrisome as they appear. The report also predicts that the Knoxville area housing market will continue to decelerate in 2023, with home sales forecasted to decline between 10 to 12% from the previous year. But despite the unexpected decline in home sales volume, home prices are forecasted to increase between 3 to 5% in 2023 compared to the prior year. And to echo that, Knoxville, Tennessee was included on a list of the top 10 housing markets expected to outperform other metro areas in 2023. According to a report by the National Association of Realtors, they said, also in line with the Knoxville forecast that we just spoke about, they expect home prices in this market to grow around 5% in 2023. So what does that tell you as a buyer? It says prices are going to keep increasing. So one, like we said earlier, don't wait because you think more houses are going to come on the market because the data doesn't show that. Don't wait for home prices to go down because not only does the Knoxville Area Association of Realtors forecasts say that they're expected to go up 3 to 5%, but the National Association of Realtors also agree that 2023 will see home prices increase in Knoxville. So those are two big reasons not to wait to buy a home. The Knoxville rental market continues to outperform the U.S. overall. Effective rents were up over 12% year over year, and compared to nationally, where they were only 6% year over year. The KAAR report predicts rental market will moderate this year, with rent in the Knoxville metro area forecasted to grow 4% on the annual basis in 2023. So while rents will still increase, they aren't going to increase the dramatic percentage that they have over the last 2 years. That number should slow, according to the report. The median price for an existing single-family home in the East Tennessee area was $330,000 at the end of December 2022. That's up from 9.82%. Up 9.82% from the same month in 2021. So over the last year, we saw prices increase in East Tennessee 9.82% year over year, December of 2021 to December of 2022. Now, based on prevailing mortgage rates, the typical family needs $88,000 with a 5% down payment to afford a median priced home in Knoxville. So affordability is definitely an issue that we are seeing. That's why we're seeing less first-time home buyers coming into the market. And we're also seeing a big decrease in the amount of home sales when mortgage rates spiked. Because when rates spiked, the amount that was needed for a monthly payment on a typical home in Knoxville went out of reach for many people. So as you can see from this graphic here, the income needed to afford a median priced home with a 5% down payment on a 30-year loan was $88,000 a year in family income. With a 10% down payment, you needed to earn $83,000. And with a 20% down payment as a family, you needed to earn $74,000. And that is to be able to purchase a median priced home, which we said in East Tennessee comes in at $330,000. Okay, mortgage rates may begin to stabilize, which is good news because that's what's causing the affordability issue. But they might not drop anytime soon. Let's just kind of take a look and see what is happening with mortgage rates. As you can see from this graph, it has gone incredibly high compared to where we started the year at. So in this graph, you see January of 2022, mortgage rates were at 3.52%. And then in January of 23, they went over 7% in November. Now they're slowly working their way down. We are just above 6% now. But still, that can definitely cause an affordability problem for many, many people. So have you been keeping an eye on the mortgage rates lately? If not, you may want to start because changes in inflation can greatly affect them. And that's a word that we've been hearing a lot. You can't get anywhere without hearing about inflation today. Inflation is the general increase in the prices for goods and services over time. When inflation goes up, the cost of borrowing money also goes up, which means that mortgage rates tend to increase as well. This can be a deterrent for potential home buyers because higher mortgage rates mean higher monthly payments. On the flip side, when mortgage rates are low, demand for homes tend to be higher because people can afford to borrow more money at a lower cost. This can lead to an increase in home prices due to increased demand, which is exactly what we saw over the last 2 years. So as you can see, there's a close relationship between inflation, mortgage rates, and home buyer demand. It's important to keep an eye on these economic factors if you're thinking about buying a home or refinancing your mortgage. Mortgage rates tumbled in recent weeks following the release of data suggesting that inflation may have reached its peak. As of today, January 9th, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate was at about 6.14%. Mortgage rates forecasted for 2023 the forecasts are all over the place, but the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has consistently indicated that ongoing rate hikes will be necessary. So with inflation still at 5.1% points above the Fed's 2% target rate as of November, mortgage rates are expected to remain elevated through the first half of 2023 and maybe beyond that. So, what does that mean? It means if you're going, you can still buy a home, but you have to look for what you can afford. Talk to your lender, get pre-approved, see what your mortgage payments are going to be. But the good news is if you secure a home now, we know that prices are going to keep increasing. But if you can find a home now that you like, that serves your family, and you can afford, then when rates do go down in the future, you can refinance your loan and have an even lower mortgage payment. So hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully it has been educational, because that's what you need to do is you need to educate yourself on what is happening with the market so you can make a great decision for yourself and an educated, smart decision as far as buying a home. If you have any questions about anything that you've heard here in this report, don't hesitate to reach out. If you have questions about specific areas of Knoxville that maybe I didn't touch on, and we need to get hyper local to around a specific subdivision or maybe a house that you're looking at, just reach out. We're happy to look at those for you. Any questions at all, my team and I are here to help. I hope you are having a great day. We look forward to a great 2023, and we just hope that we can be part of it and help you in any way that we can. Have a great day. This is Troy Stavros with Doorbell Real Estate, and we'll talk to you soon.